This is Amy. She made a product that revolutionized the baby wear industry and made $100,000 in just one day. She invited us to her home where she runs the entire business with 0 employees. Amy started building this idea on the very first day when her child was born. The crazy part is that she'd gone through so many difficulties in her life. It was just another problem that she had to solve for herself.
At the end of 2010, I actually tried to take my own life.
The secret behind our business is how it solves a real life problem that millions of mums face every single day. We're going to break down why this is making her one of the fastest growing entrepreneurs in Australia.
15 million organic views.
In this video, she shares everything, how she launched her business with her community with 0 ads, how her suppliers got her biggest order wrong, as well as how anyone can build a life-changing business on what they love to do. I'm Davie Fogarty, and this is another memoir of my daily mentor students.
Growing up, I was the eldest. I had 7 brothers and sisters, and that meant that our family was very chaotic, but it also meant that we had very little money as a family. And my dad is the one who had to bring in the cash for our family. So he worked incredibly hard in his own business, and I actually watched that business fold as well. It was really a pivotal place in my childhood, watching my dad grow a business and then have to fold that business. And I went and got a job because being the eldest of the family, it meant that I could have a little pocket money that was my own, and my parents could spend the money that they wanted to on my younger siblings. So my first job was at Spotlight. I was probably the youngest person working at Spotlight at the time, and it introduced me to a world of textiles, and really, I learned how to sew really well there. I was like, you know what? I reckon I could sew something and sell something. I went and got some wheat and I started sewing wheat bags, except I thought, what am I gonna do different in the market? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to either applique or embroider people's personal names. And it worked really well on Facebook Marketplace because people could just message me, let me know what name they would like on their wheat pack, and I would sew it for them and I would deliver it, or they would come to my house and come collect it. I remember my first ever order. It was probably for like $30. And I took that $30 and I went and bought more fabric. When I was still going through high school, my family went through a breakup. My mum actually started dating my teacher. Home wasn't really a safe place anymore, and either was school, because my mum was with my PE teacher. And I knew that with the ambition that I had to go to uni, that I had to fast track going to uni. So I actually completed year 11 and year 12 in the same year. So which meant that I graduated high school when I was 17. The thing that happened in my life for me to make that decision very quickly, at the end of 2010, I actually tried to take my own life. It was a huge turning point in my life. I knew whatever I had to do, I had to do it on my own. When I was 17, I packed up my shit, essentially, and I moved out and I went and lived by myself at uni. I was at uni for a little while. I fucked around, really. I was 17. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know how to go grocery shopping. Failed probably half my units. But it was something nice to focus on. I found a new group of friends. It gave me space to find myself. It gave me space from my family. It gave me an opportunity to look back at my life, to discover what it is that I actually want to do. I actually decided to go into the workforce. Right next to Spotlight, where I live in my hometown, is Chemist Warehouse. I was successful at getting a position. I was a pharmacy assistant, packing stuff onto the shelves. I was ordering inventory. I was doing that for only around 3 to 4 months before I got promoted to retail manager. I was running a $100 million business for someone else. There was 124 employees. I was putting in a ton of effort. I was going to work at 4 a.m. I was getting speeding fines because I was so eager to go to work and build someone else's wealth. It wasn't until I fell pregnant and I had to think about, what am I gonna do once I have this baby? I gave birth to my first baby in 2020 on my last day of work. I had a phone call at 8:45 in the morning saying, Amy, where are you? And I said, I just pushed out a baby 15 minutes ago. I'm not coming back. He was 6 hours old when I had an absolute epiphany about what I was going to do and what sort of business I was going to have.
What is it?
So whilst we were still in the hospital, I had never thought about cloth nappies ever. Never even, nothing I researched, didn't even think about it. In the hospital, he was born pretty small. He was only 2.5 kilos. So I was given some disposable nappies. I was given some newborn nappies. I was given some premature nappies. Nothing worked. Absolutely nothing worked. He was leaking out of his nappies. I was asking my friends who already had babies, what's going on? Am I doing something wrong? Am I fitting this nappy wrong? I was asking the midwives. Oh, it's just what happens with disposable nappies. Babies leak. I knew how to sew. I had a 12-hour-old baby when I got home, and I started to sew nappies for him because I knew there had to be something better. I started Mimi & Co the exact same way that I started this wheat heat business that I did a couple of years prior. Sewing them at home, selling to friends and family, and selling on Facebook Marketplace. And they were coming back to me saying, Amy, I need more. I need more for my friends. I need more for my cousins. I need more. There was absolutely no way I could sew that many nappies. I was sewing probably 15 nappies a day. I knew absolutely then that I was onto something. And I knew that if I couldn't keep up with this, that this was something huge. So I actually started looking into getting someone else to make these nappies for me. That was my first ever experience with Alibaba. I went on there, I found the manufacturer that I really liked. I asked them to send me 300 units of their ready to send stock. I got that in my home and I sold it. It actually also gave me an opportunity to test the quality of what they were able to do and test their communication as well. I didn't have a website. I had a very small community around me of people that kind of knew what I was making at home. I sold these cheap nappies to people, and that gave me my first $1,000. I took that $1,000 and I placed my first ever custom order on Alibaba, and it was the scariest moment of my life. At that point in time, $1,000 is a lot of money. Imagine what I could do for $1,000 in my own home or with my baby. I think the minimum order quantity was 100 pieces. I had to beg them, can I please have just 30? I want 30 of each, and I only want to do like 5 prints. I promise that I will come back and I will order again. And so they did. They sent me my first 150 units. I created my Facebook page and I launched it on there with a single carousel post. And it essentially said, we're live, come buy my nappies. And we sold out that night. 150 units, my $1,000 was gone. Having built a community prior to that first launch meant that we had a very, very successful night and was able to grab that cash and do the same thing again and again. And even just on that launch night, our community grew. It doubled in that one night because people took that opportunity to buy the product that all of their friends and family were actually talking about. Our secret weapon is our product. Most nappies on the market will fit from 5 kilos to 15 kilos. And that's fundamentally because of the way that the snaps are located on the nappy. I designed a nappy that fits from newborn to toilet training, which means that you can use the same nappy throughout your entire journey, and it is comfortable and more environmentally sustainable. I'd had this product launch, I had some cash behind me, some capital. All I needed to do now was go back to the same manufacturer and place another order, a bigger order. I sent them all my design files, my custom prints this time, which meant that we had to choose what color all the buttons were, or what we call snaps. We had to choose what color the lining was. We had all of these customizations that we had the opportunity to make now that we were gonna order their typical minimum order quantity. And I was so excited to receive our second order. My community was getting reared up. I was on pre-order at this time. We were going to have another sellout, except this time I had ordered 3 times the amount of stock. On the day that this order was supposed to be sent, I was a little bit cheeky and I said, can you send me some photos? Because I want to show my community what this product looks like in the flesh. They sent through all these photos and I almost cried. These photos were not what I ordered at all. They had messed up all of the snap configurations and the colors. I had beautifully matched blues with blue snaps, reds with red snaps. And when I received these photos, there was blue buttons on red, there was red on green. And I said to her, this is not what I ordered. What had happened is design files that I had sent, they had repopulated into an Excel, and then they sorted that Excel by ascending order. The snap colors didn't match to our pattern colors. I looked at these and I said, you know what? I'm not going to accept them. She said to me, Amy, if you don't take these nappies with your logo, we will sell them to someone else. And I was like, what do you mean you're going to sell them to someone else? She said, we cannot take a loss like this. You either take these nappies or we sell them to someone else. I had to make a decision very quickly. So I took them. I was so upset. I was so gutted. I took my biggest ever order that was wrong. I was very transparent with my community. I said to them, this is what's coming. And you know what? They absolutely loved them. And they sold them out again. They did not care that the color of the buttons were wrong. What they cared about is that we were able to bring a product that solves their problem. At that point in time, they didn't give two shits about what it looked like. This is a lesson for any new entrepreneur out there. Number one, protect yourself. Make sure you've got the right things in place with your manufacturer. Number two, and probably most importantly, is be transparent with your community and your customers. If you have something on pre-order, it's not coming in time, tell them. If you have a product that is seconds quality or different to what they've ordered or going to order, tell them, share with them. And it's the number one piece of feedback I get from my community is that I am transparent with them. I share the ups and downs. They see me cry, they see me happy, and they're with me on that journey. I then stumbled upon the biggest hack that I would recommend to any young entrepreneur just starting their business. It's organic content. We started posting on TikTok around 18 months ago. Since then, we've had around 15 million organic views, 15 million impressions that I have not had to pay for. Your customers, they want you. They want you to show what running a business is like. If you have a look at my organic content, a lot of it, I'm not even showing my product. I don't sell my product. My product sells itself through that organic content. We aired on Shark Tank in September of last year. We have seen a huge growth in our business since then. Our first year, we did $125,000. We did $100,000 in one day last fortnight. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do, but you have to do them and you have to do them every single day. Throughout all my experiences, I have learned that the best person to solve your problem is yourself.